This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Thursday, November 21st, 2024. The title of this rant is, F you, MSN. You are the problem. And because of you, we are going to have 4 more years of some terrible shit. And all I can say is basically, long live racism, misogyny, and hatred, because that's what we're going to get. So yes, a lot of hand-wringing since the orange mango got elected again. A lot of bad things are going to happen, but let's concentrate just a little bit on the MSN, the mainstream media, and what a terrible job that they've done for the last 4 years. That's part of the reason, not the biggest, but is, number one, they tore into Joe. They tore him a new rectal cavity, actually right from the beginning. They criticized everything about every little thing that was going on. Criticism. He had the greatest presidency since FDR in terms of those 4 years. And how did the mainstream media reply to that? Just tearing him a new a-hole every single time. And of course, at the same time, even though they were criticizing Trump, they were publicizing him more and more. They were having his picture. They were talking about him, all this stuff. It was incessantly done all over the place. And they acted in most instances as if he was basically what you would call a normal candidate, which he wasn't even remotely close to being a normal candidate. And of course, we have to hold out, or I have to hold out, that MSNBC was basically the worst cultured of all of the above, especially when it came to talking about the great things that Joe did in the last 4 years. And I will make an exception here. Yes, Joy Reid and Lawrence O'Donnell, yes, they did a very good job. The rest of those at MSNBC did not. And the biggest FU is going to go out to Joe and Mika, who basically were total sellouts. Now, the thing is, they went down to kiss the ring, and I'll just use the ring. It should be the arse, because number one, they wanted more access. Number two, they were trying to protect themselves from, let's just say, and maybe MSNBC, from prosecution or a tremendous amount of harassment. But they did that instead of sticking up for their values, instead of sticking up for their First Amendment rights, instead of sticking up for what they knew was to be true, that this guy is a total and complete nutcase and is going to do everything he can to try and tear down everything that is good about America in the next 4 years. Okay? And they also didn't do one other thing that is especially important. They never really stood up for the proletariat. And by that, I mean women, the poor, and people of color. They never stood up for the proletariat. They never showed what their true values were in terms of stepping up for the proletariat. And basically, we're going to have a terrible 4 years coming up. And I just basically never want to watch the mainstream media again. And I recommend you do the same.